I've never been in any place in the world where the sound system sound as shit as in Dubai. Oh, I believe I will become 900 years old. That the school is very, very good at what it does, to drain out the creativity and to make people obedient sheep.
Is climate change real?
No.
What do you actually say to convince someone to spend $1 million on air? Not gold, not real estate, but air, vibrating slightly differently than cheaper air. This is Øystein Hasnes, and he does it for a living. And 9 months before his first six-figure deal, he was delivering packages on a bicycle. He quit university because he refused to write that climate change is real, got hired at a luxury audio store with what he calls the worst job application ever. And 9 months later, journalists were calling his setup one of the best sounds in the industry. Now he runs it all remotely from Dubai while homeschooling 3 kids under 7. I asked him how he justifies a $300,000 system versus a $30,000 system. I asked what percentage of his clients can actually hear the difference versus just buying status. And I asked the one question no one in luxury audio wants to answer. What truth would kill sales if buyers actually understood it? And he didn't dodge any of them. And I even got to try his 400,000 euro system live with him at the end of it. And it was incredible to experience, and I enjoyed it far beyond any luxury cars such as Ferraris or Lambos that I've sat behind. This is what 90 minutes over cigars gets you. No marketing speak, no luxury lifestyle bullshit, just the real story behind selling air to people who have everything. This is Breaking Cigars with Øystein Hasnes.
Something that I really liked when we met in May.
Yeah.
Like, you have, I think, a very unique story. And so I wanted to really capture that over some cigars. And today I brought a multitude. I ended up bringing, I think, around 30 or 40 cigars.
Yeah.
But these ones are bought from Latvia. I'm staying in Latvia now.
Yeah.
And
cool.
There's 3 different ones for you to choose from. The first one is Villa Vieja. So this one's a fully Nicaraguan cigar. Very nice. It's usually my go-to when I go to the lounge. And I would say it's kind of like medium body to full body. This one is called Leaf by Oscar Valadares, and this one's a Maduro. So another dark one. I think this is the darkest one. And finally, and this one I think is a mix. It's a blend of different countries. This one is Padilla that has a Spanish tradition to it.
Yes.
That starts at 1895, and this one's a lighter cigar. So I don't know which one you usually go for, but these are the options. And I brought some extra ones there as well. If we want to extend the time, there's a few Lanceros, which are like these long, thin cigars.
Cool.
And whichever one you choose, go for it. What do you typically smoke in your case?
Have been the most bought ones.
Why
for me,
Davidoffs?
Because that's been the available selection when I've been flying around the Norwegian airport. But since I moved to Dubai, I haven't really been that much through the Norwegian airport lately. And in the end, actually, there was a bit less choice because I believe they were sold out. Actually. Gotcha. So when I choose cigars, I like to choose them visually, how they look. So for me, it was crystal clear from the start. I want the one in the middle.
Nice.
Because it's not in plastic.
Yes.
And also, when you said this is your to-go-to cigar, then I think, yeah, that's yours.
But I have more.
I know.
So if you want to try that one, go for it.
No, I not at all. I want to have this one.
Nice. Go for it. It's very beautifully wrapped in leaf. And the unique thing about this one, my friend actually is very good at rolling hand cigarettes.
Yeah.
And he's an Asian guy from California. And he ended up actually taking that leaf and rolling it into a perfect cigarette.
Wow.
And another buddy of mine tried it. And he's like, man, this is the best cigarette I've ever smoked.
In Norway, when I grew up, we had, it's called tobacco. It's called Petterøes red and blue. That was a different, probably the strength of the tobacco. And it was with the paper, and then the tobacco, and they rolled it and smoked it. So it's something I remember from my childhood, the rolling of cigarettes. So no one in my family did smoke, but it was quite common in Trondheim, where I grew up. So I really would enjoy this one and look forward to handcraft is always cool. And let's see, it's beautiful.
Well, here's the thing about handcraft, right? The funny thing is, there's 3 different kinds of builds for cigar. One is handmade. The other one is machine assisted,
Yeah.
which means it's a mix of both handmade and machine. And the third one is fully machine made.
Yeah.
But what most people do is they claim something to be handmade when in all reality it's a mix of both.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't know unless you go to the factory yourself or you've done your research. You don't really know whether it's 100% handmade, because if the final stages of the wrap is done by hand, technically they can claim that, hey, this is handmade.
I understand that. Touched by hands, not only machines.
I'll go for a fully Nicaraguan. How old were you when you ended up smoking your first cigar?
I might have been... I actually know when I smoked my first cigar. It was Halloween in Norway. I had gotten the cigar a few years before, actually, by the husband of my sister, and he said, smoke it at a special event. This was the first gathering of the brothers in Oslo I attended with a cigar. And the funny part that the audience or the line, the queue, they point at us and said, you guys look like the brothers. So it was a very surreal evening and very fun. And that was my first cigar, because I was the only guy actually having a cigar that I could bring to the night.
And so you were the only one with a cigar that night. And so how old were you when that happened?
I think I was 39.
39.
Yeah.
So this was just a few years ago then.
Yeah, I'm 42 now, so it's like 3 years ago.
Cigars aren't that popular in Norway, I'm guessing.
Oh no, it's funny, because when the smoking laws started in Norway, I did not smoke, but I was considering maybe to start smoke, because I didn't like that the government could tell you where you could smoke or not. So I was this rebel that I didn't start, but it was so... I didn't like that at all. Yeah, and that's one of the good things about Dubai, is that you actually can smoke indoors. It's if you like. Of course, the venue is free to say no. This is a smoking zone. This is not, etc. But it's that I believe that the choices should come from the people.
100%. And Ontario, Canada is very similar in that way, where indoor cigar lounges don't exist.
Yeah.
Funny enough, there is an exception to shisha or hookah in many places. On paper, it's not real tobacco.
Yeah.
In actuality, it's real tobacco.
Yeah.
But it's super odd to me that they don't allow it. If I go to Quebec, if I drive 5 hours out to Montreal, I can smoke and have no problems.
Yeah.
But for whatever reason in Ontario, they decided, no, that's public indoor cigar lounges are not allowed. I believe there are private cigar lounges in Toronto. I've never visited any of them. I think it starts at a few $1,000s to be a part of a group like that. And it's good that there are private ones, but it's super unfortunate that, for example, in the middle of winter, I can't really go to a spot and grab a cigar with my dad and really enjoy my time with him. So my understanding is it's something similar in Norway, where it's no indoor.
Correct.
Lounges.
Yeah, this was outdoor. We had a table with a fire. It's very nice. The place is called Louise at Aker Brygge. Nice spot. It's a dining at the day and then turns into a nightclub in the evening.
Nice. And ultimately, were you already in Dubai at that time, or at which time did you move to Dubai?
Oh, I moved to Dubai in April. Could call it April, because that was when I started being here 3 out of 4 weeks every month. I set up my company and got my residency last year. And then I came here in April when things were ready. And I've been here ever since, except for, of course, occasional travel to Spain, Norway, and other places. And in August, I was away all month. And this June and July was actually quite good compared to previous summers, I've been told.
So it was cooler, I heard.
Yeah. It was cooler. So, but then again, I'm indoor anyway in a cigar lounge, playing my music system.
It's air conditioning all day.
Yeah. So but still in Norway, it's like, oh, it's snowing outside. Oh, is it? It's raining. Huh? It's sun? What are you talking about? Because I'm inside working with a music system anyway. So I don't really know the weather. So I always call it's always good hi-fi weather. If it's sunny outside, that means your neighbor is outside, so you can blast the system. If it's raining outside, you don't want to be outside, so you can be indoor and blast the system. So, yeah.
And so what gave you this push to move to Dubai as opposed to continuing to stay in Norway? Did you have your audio business at that time already?
Oh yeah, I had an audio business in Norway. I have that now. We started on the 30th of September. I've been in the business for 15 years plus now. And the reason I came to Dubai was I was there last September, a year ago, and I could see that there's a huge gap between what's offered and what could be offered. So I'm here to give the people of Dubai a new way of setting up the systems so they can maximize the potential.
Got it. And would you say here there's a bigger total addressable market in Dubai as opposed to Norway for these kinds of audio systems?
The market is bigger for everything in Dubai than Norway, no matter how you look on it. At the moment, Norway is the place where I'm selling the most, and Dubai is the place that will catch up. The thing is, Norway for me is an established place where everybody knows I'm the expert, I'm the guy to go to. Dubai, people gradually find that out when they either meet me in person, tune their system, and give them a new benchmark how good the system can work, or I invite them to Nera, where I have the Brewmaster sound system set up, ready to play. And the fun thing is that we can talk, we do now, while the music plays in a way you feel it on your body. And that's the new experience for people. So I say, and we can talk. And then, what? Because usually when you play that loud, you're not able to talk. And they are used to that.
And 15 years ago, what even got you started in this whole music sound industry? Was it that you were so infatuated by music? Were you big into, maybe at the time it was rock or hip hop? What kind of pushed you in that direction as opposed to be doing something completely different? Because if we were to backtrack, you did a whole bunch of other things before that. So yes, maybe it's worth starting with, where does Øystein's journey start?
Oh, that's a good one. I grew up in a home with infinite music, books, literature, movies, and a way of living where we always were encouraged to think for ourselves. And when I finally finished school after army, where I was in the marching band actually, performing in front of the whole Western civilization's leaders in the 60 years anniversary of the D-Day in France, that was the peak, to then studying to become an electrical engineer. Why? Because I thought maybe I can build myself an amplifier to play music. And then when I realized that the teachers at school didn't really know basic science, it took a while, but I actually quit school to start selling music systems. I was a bike messenger. I rolled by the shop. The owner asked me if I would like to experience something. And I said yes. He played me the system and I was sold. I need to have this. And that was the journey where I started first as a client and then later as a sales representative. We call ourselves consultants. And I stayed there for 13 years.
Wow. And this was a music shop?
A stereo shop.
Stereo shop.
Yeah, one of the leading ones you could ever go to anywhere in the world. So I was learning from the best. And at some point, there was nothing more to learn. I want to go my own way and do this myself the way I know, it could be even better.
And where did your love for music come from? Because before joining the marching band for the Norwegian military, were you really inspired by some artists, or what pushed you in that direction?
Oh, I always liked rock music. Deep Purple is my favorite. The music came from my dad that had a large record collection. We always played music in the home. When I joined the marching band in the army, that was actually a bit backwards because I missed the day, or I never found out when I should meet up to do my playing, so they could find out if I could join. So I joined the army as a regular soldier, and they needed some trumpet fanfare guys. And I remember that it was like, okay, we know you can play an instrument, so we're going to bring you into the camp so you can test play. And I said, yeah, cool, but can I warm up? Can I? Yeah, sure. Just take your time. Of course, next day morning, car waited. Øystein, you're going. I went there, and I remember when I came into the room, here's your instrument. We have a test play in 30 minutes. You can warm up now. And they left. And I put the instrument up to my mouth, and I was going to play a tone, but there come no sound out of the instrument. I just remember, oh fuck, I'm sorry.
It was in tune, or what?
No, the instrument was fine. It was a while since I've been playing, so I was not. And it was also a trumpet with a small mouthpiece instead of a larger one that the euphonium had. So there come no sound out. But of course, after 30 minutes, I managed to get the instrument to partially sing. It was the worst test play I ever done. But at that interview, I told them that whatever I set my mind to, I become the best at. So I came in again, and I was there for 11 months and 3 weeks. And the last week was summer vacation. That's why I quit, because at this particular place in the army, His Majesty the King's Guard drill platoon, you can only stay 1 year, because they pride themselves in always training a new batch of young people to become the best every year. So they have the system that they take people that's used to play different instruments in, of course, all the Norwegian marching bands, or brass ensembles, or music groups, or wherever they are, and then just train them. So we worked from 7 in the morning to 11 in the evening every day, and then we had missions to go out and play in the weekends. So we really, really worked that year. And fun things is that, I actually had the most shiny shoes in the whole camp. Why? Because I was protesting, because I was in the fanfare group, and at a certain point, we were just being told to do your own training at the camp, because they were training for the main part of the band. And at some point, we ran out of things to do. So I started doing my shoes as a protest to not have enough to do. And these shoes were so shiny that you actually could see the eye color of you in the reflection of the polished shoe. And these was marching boots made shiny. You could see the hour of the clock. I remember walking up the main street in Norway, and people turned their head as I walked up, and I could hear, we never had that shiny shoes when I was in. I was stopped on the street, people stopped me, wow. And
it's like a mirror reflection.
Yes, because of the shoes were, and I didn't really realize this before we went to this one mission where we were playing fanfares at disabled Winter Olympics outside, I think it was Beitostølen, where we traveled with the regular clothes, and not regular army clothes, and then I put my shiny boots at the snow. I went with my bag and put it away, and then when I came back to pick up my shoes, I was blended by the light from the shoes because the sun hit them in the correct angle. Yeah, it was just it was this thing you light up the sky with. And then I understand, yes, my shoes are shiny. I actually got them on Norwegian television as well. That was pure luck because I was told I was playing the fanfare instruments. It's a trumpet like this with a huge banner. So we was exercising all year to just keep it up. And I was at the back at the end. And when the camera crew from the Norwegian television came, they zoomed in on my shoes. And I remember, oh, why didn't I put on the blank shoe cream this morning? and the captain had to, that's the most blank shoes I ever seen. So I had my shoes on Norwegian television. It's just for me it's a fun story. And
the shoes are, to add to that, the shoes are a point of pride.
Yes.
In pretty much any military, because it's a sign of discipline. It's a sign of hard work. It's a sign that you're able to grind it out, and it's a sign that you're able to keep your uniform clean and consistent and perfect.
Yes.
And shoes are obviously a very tough thing to keep clean because they're on the ground.
Correct.
They're always on the ground. They're always getting dusty, and they always need maintenance. And I remember, because I served in the military as well for 4 years as engineer officer reservist.
Yeah.
And I remember getting dropped off to my course. I think it was my fourth course, which was basic engineer officer training for 3 months. And for the first time, we had inspections that involved the dress shoes.
Yeah.
And before that, all the shoes I've had were synthetic. They were Loas or Rockies that didn't really need any shining. And we never really went through the part of the training where you had to shine the shoes.
Yeah.
So I had to learn on the spot from the Royal Military Academy graduates on how to shine shoes. And what I realized is that there is no good workaround to it. We tried burn shining them, completely ruined the shoe. Did all sorts of different methods. Some people would spray them, but then they would crack.
Correct.
And it was just an absolute mess. And then I realized, okay, I just need to keep doing this over and over and over again until they're that level of shiny.
Yeah, and what I did, and this is one of the things I learned from home, I actually learned that the level of detail I learned from home was higher than we learned in this particular place in the army. That's also regarded to be the place in the Norwegian army where you have the highest level of detail. And what I did was I used sandpaper to brush down the shoe all the way to 1200, and then after that just taking a normal regular A4 paper and just to make it completely smooth. I only did it on the shoe, first on the tip and on the heel cap, but then I did it also later on all the parts of the shoe that didn't move when you walked. So all places that could be made flat surface with shine, I made it shine. And because when you just make all the possible places, the shine from it will mask where it's not shine. Yeah. So I made the foundation. This is the thing I learned from home, is that when you make the foundation perfect, you don't really need to spend much time later to fix things that the foundation doesn't hold up.
Because otherwise it's going to crack from underneath and it's all going to fall apart.
Yes. So in the end, I actually spent only 5 minutes shining the shoe every second day and still had the best shoes. It was all because of the foundation of the work I put in first.
Makes absolute sense.
So when I quit the army, I traded the shoes to my officer, and he continued. Rumors have it that they were not as good as I had them, but they were at least kept within the music division.
Somewhat.
Yeah.
the somewhat similar condition, and I guess the legends say 20 years later they're still getting passed down generation to generation.
And it's funny you say 10 years, because 9 years later, my brother, youngest brother, he also joined the same place. He joined it regularly. He's a fantastic trombone player. And I learned him. And guess what? Of course, he had the best shoes. Because it's very easy to pass it on if you know it as good as I did. I even had a course on it.
Wow.
Yeah. So the thing is, if you just know how to do things properly, you can pass it on. And the second thing that I think was funny in the army was that I could put my rifle on the bed I could pick up my rifle and everything looked the same. So
As in nothing moved from the bed when you picked up the rifle?
The bed was still perfectly smooth. The blanket, everything, the pillow.
The hospital corners.
Yeah, there was no crevice. It was just, everything was smooth. So that's the story of what I'm doing. When I do something, I become the best.
Absolutely.
I find out exactly how to do it. And even if people think it's impossible, I make it possible. And I don't only make it possible for me, but I make it possible for others to do the same. Because it's just to go down to the core principles, find out the keys needed. And that's the same thing I do with setting up a music system.
Do you believe that to a large extent, how you do anything is how you do everything?
It's true words, but still, I think there's something happening before you do it. And it's learning, or when you have learned a strategy, basic principles, because when you learn the basic principles, you can apply it to anything. I actually believe that some things are so important to do that they are worth doing badly. Yes.
Elaborate on that a bit.
My cigar went out of fire. I might not be the best cigar smoker, but to have a cigar with a friend is something that's highly recommended. Even though you smoke the cigar badly, you can still have a perfect conversation with a great friend.
Absolutely.
So we all start at a certain level, and then we build ourselves up in the different things. And I said everything I go in for, I become the best in. That doesn't mean I'm the best in everything, because I choose what I would like to be the best in. So I have a hard time agreeing on absolutes. I like to think in systems, because if you have a system and you apply the system, you have a higher chance of a positive outcome. Because let's say training, for example, if you have a weight goal, this is the weight goal. You're in a failed state, failed state, failed state, failed state until you hit that weight goal. And when you hit it, fantastic. But then you set a new goal, and then you're back again in a failed state, failed state, failed state, failed state. Every time you check, you're wrong, you're wrong, you're wrong, off. And then you come to the magic number, bang, yes, good, but then you set a new one, fail. But if your system is, for example, to have a healthy weight, or move towards a healthy weight, or even though you can put on muscle, so you actually go up. So it's I'd rather have a system where I do things that keeps me healthy, because then you have a healthier relation with yourself through the whole process. And it's like a guiding star, North Star. Okay, we're going there, and then because of the streams or the wind or offsets in the steering or whatever, you start to drift in a bit off, but you're still going towards where you want to go. You're just a bit off, so it takes a bit longer time. And that means you need to steer. When you're at sea and you want to go there, but you have the stream, you actually have to aim, let's say, to the left to hit it right on. And it's the same when you shoot bullets over a long range. You have to account for the wind, the fall of the bullet, everything. So you have to calculate all these things, and you put it in to hit the mark. So, and that's a system. I like to apply systems, because when you apply systems, you can do them more on autopilot. It's like the system of the GPS. It's constantly checking itself, you know.
You're very systematic.
Yeah.
And this is very tempting to go and to dissect that and go down the path of MBTI, but I'll save it for another time. And so you left the military, you did your time, and that was around 12 to 24 months altogether that you spent in the military.
12
months.
Yeah.
And so after that, You started doing newspapers on the bicycle, and then you quit that, got into the audio space.
Yes.
And worked there for 12 years.
Yeah, 12 plus, yeah. And,
over 12 years.
Yeah. So and then I, in the end, I couldn't do my job to the level I would like to do it. So I quit.
Got it. Was it because you didn't have the freedom to do the things that you wanted to do?
Correct.
And so from there, you decided to open up your own business?
Correct. That was basically what happened, yeah. And
so I'm guessing for the past 10 years you've had your own business?
No, just the third year.
In the third year?
Yeah.
Got it.
So I started one online community before I quit, because I was looking at ways to do business that would have no conflict with the business in the country I was. And that's how I had this online community. And when I had this online community, I met clients from Dubai. I met brands that came to me, that happens still, and they asked me, who should we collaborate with in this and this region? And I started talking with the brands, how they sell in the different regions, and I was like, okay, we have all this money here, and got all this energy, but you don't really sell anything here. Why? And then I thought, then there must be an opportunity to come here. So I've been aiming for Dubai 3 years. Actually been aiming at Dubai before I started my business in Norway. And when I started my business in Norway, the first day we hired a guy, a very good guy, Matthias, I left and went to Dubai. What happened in Norway? Norway still doubles in sales. We had the best month ever last month.
Congrats.
Thank you.
That's massive.
I find that I work the best when I'm free. And that was why I quit where I used to work, because I couldn't be free anymore. I was free, but then they made it less free, and then, okay.
Ultimately, you didn't have control over what you wanted to do.
Yeah.
And so how different is selling in Norway as opposed to Dubai? Mind describing kind of the types of personalities you see in each market and what kind of buyers you come across? Do you have to take different sales approaches when you sell?
I think Norway is quite different from the whole world, actually, because in Norway we have many enthusiasts that spend every penny they have. If they have 10 grand in the bank, they buy a 10 grand amplifier.
Why? Well, like, what draws the Norwegians to spend that much on audio?
They have a high level of security in Norway. You can't
social security.
Yeah, you can't really be poor. Gotcha. You can't really live without a home. So it's no matter what happens, you're safe. So they are more willing to spend than here. People here, they think they need to be insanely rich to buy a stereo system. And also in Norway, people buy a piece at a time, but here it's more like selling a complete system because they don't really have anything to start with. Still, in sales, it's sometimes good to have the client say no. Why? Because then they get more ownership of control in the conversation. They feel they are in control.
Chris Voss and Never Split the Difference teaches that.
Yeah, correct. I have it from him. Yeah. And this is, I love sales. I just came from a hidden sales thing. Some guys wanting to sell something where you can have better rates at hotels around the world. And it was like, wah, 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 sales, but they were not really selling. No, we're not selling. Oh, please, come on. I
got nothing to sell you.
Yeah. They even said that. I was like, sure, bro. Thank you.
The moment someone says, yeah, I'm your best friend. I got nothing to sell you. Instantly, my guard goes up. I'm like, bro, where's the sales pitch? Here it comes.
Yeah. So I was.
Well, it's funny. I did an event, a networking event in Riga, and I was one of the speakers, and I was just sharing about the systems, and I'm like, I actually opened with that because I literally said, hey, I'm here to help you guys. I'm in a completely different ocean from you.
Yeah.
I'm selling to doctors in US.
Yeah.
None of you guys are doctors from US. So I literally, even if I wanted to sell you something, I can't. So here are the systems. I'm just here to help you.
Yeah.
So when it's framed in that way, when it actually makes sense, that's one thing.
Yes, but that was an honest statement.
Yeah.
This was not an honest statement.
Yeah.
It's
and it makes it almost does the opposite. The thing that
not
you're trying
almost,
to pull off.
but it does. It's like I thank you for time. Thank you. And then the manager came in and was like, oh, what's thank you. Yeah, but if you want to give you something for free, yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah. and there are so many different things in a sales process that have to go right.
Yeah.
For them to buy.
Oh yes, and I sometimes say it directly straight out to the client or the friend or whoever. We only do this to build trust. So when you trust me 100%, that's and commit 100% to me, then I can do my job fully.
So how do you build trust in sales? Because I think that was one of the things I saw you mention in one of the chats around the importance of trust in sales. How do you build that rapport? You don't have to share all your secrets. But if you want to drop
for me, they are not secrets. It's just that sometimes I've been learning that a lot of the things you don't necessarily know them consciously. There are systems that go on automatically. But the basic thing is for a guy or a girl or anyone to buy something, they need to trust you, they need to trust the product, and they need to trust the company. So if you have a car and you sell it, you want to make sure that you can have service on it. You want to make sure that there will be parts available in the future. You want to make sure that the guy selling you is actually giving you the products you're talking about. So it's quite basic. And sometimes when people say, oh, I need to talk with my wife, that means that, he only needs to talk with his wife, and then wife will say yes, and he will come back and buy. No, it's just an excuse because you haven't really fulfilled trust in the company, trust in the product, and trust in you. So you have to fix that on the spot. So I had this client in Norway calling me, and I gave him an offer on a speaker. Yeah, thank you for the offer. I'll come back to you. And I just flashing in my mind that because he had some friends he want to invite, he really want to start business with my business in Norway. But I could just see that he was used to completely different things. So I just told him on the phone, sir, I know that the offer I made, you didn't like it at all. And I want to fix that. I do not want to hang up this call now, because if I hang up this call, it's over. And actually, this 1st November, we had a show in Norway. The second, I haven't attended myself, but it went well. He bought for $35,000.
One audio system.
Just a pair of speakers and some accessories. He had the rest from before. The funny part was he was at another audio show getting a demo, and that shop could sell him the same things we sold him because they have access to the same. He even sat in a demo and told the guy demonstrating from the factory of this one of the brands, yeah, I will buy this stuff next week from Øystein. But there was this crucial moment on the phone where I just understood I had through everything, I missed the mark, but I told him, sorry, I missed the mark. I know that, but let's find a way. And I did find a way. So
when you hear, sorry to interrupt, when you hear, hey, let me talk to my wife.
Yeah.
Instantly my brain goes, if I try to objection handle it, it'll be, hey, Mr. Smith. Usually when someone says, let me talk to my wife, it's usually because of one of three things. Either there is no trust in the company, no trust in the product, or no trust with me specifically. Where did I go wrong here? Do you kind of put it on the table like that? Or how do you try to then uncover the true reason?
Oh yeah, to uncover, I have a different question. What does it take for you to buy right now?
That's a great question.
Yeah, because you don't really know. And then it could be color is wrong, the timing is wrong, the money is wrong, whatever reason, or it's sunshine outside, I don't want to go out and play with my kids. It can be any whatever reasons. And then you fix that, and then you have the sale, but you need to uncover it.
What's stopping this from moving forward today? Let's get that out of the way.
Yeah. Then again, it's a good question. I just think it's too mechanical. Because I want to move out from the typical sales talk, pitch, etc. Because you have heard it so many times. So there's something in the back of the mind that just don't hear it.
Got it.
Yeah.
What does this sales cycle look like for you guys? Let's say someone is interested. They come in as a warm lead. By the way, do you guys do any kind of cold calling, any kind of cold outreach, or is it all warm ads? Because it is B2C.
I'm lucky to be in this business in Norway for more than 15 years. Everybody knows me. So it's never really cold.
Got it.
But of course, we have ads. People never seen us before coming in. People just walking past, coming in, never seen us. So there are cold cases as well. It's just that hard to. Once, where I used to work, I had this positive kickoff meeting in the morning. This is something I just did because I want to do it, because I know if the guys are happy, then it's a high ability that people will buy when they come in. And this particular morning, I'd read something somewhere and I said, oh, guys, after this meeting, when we open the shop at 10 o'clock, I'll walk out on the sidewalk and I will sell a pair of speakers to the first guy I see. So I did that. So I walked out, find a guy that was just passing by, dragged him in, played a system for him, and he went out with a pair of speakers that cost 2,000 euros.
Wow.
Yeah, that was just purely. And they were
morale
like, oh.
boost.
Yeah.
Inspire the troops.
Yeah.
I love it. Wow.
And to sell a pair of speakers that cost 2,000 euros to a random guy on the street, how hard it can be to sell a pair of 2,000 euro or dollar, roughly at the same time, speaker, even to people that are interested, to just take a random guy and pull him in and do that, it's incredible hard.
Very, very. And what kind of buyers, so just to understand, people that are very much into it are going to spend their last money on it. But what are Norwegians like when it comes to buying in general? Are they very skeptical buyers? Is there a lot of scarcity mindset?
Oh, yes.
Are Norwegians typically more introverted?
Yes.
How are they as people?
Oh, they are all that. So what I say is that you need to take people, whatever at minus level buying willpower they have, you need to take them up to zero and past on the dopamine level. You need to just push the dopamine so far up that they want to buy. And the less ready they are, the more you have to push. But the good thing is that when they cross the zero line, the more you have pushed, the more you have put rocket fuel to it, the higher they go.
And how do you give them that dopamine? Is it by them trying the tool? How do you spike that emotion within them?
I'll show you after. I'll sit you down in front of a music system and I just crank it. It's like putting a guy in a supercar and just floor it.
Wow.
Everybody likes it.
So the demonstration, the hidden component is the demo
of
them trying
it's
it.
the quality of the system.
Okay.
It needs to be high. You cannot do this with a bad system. It's not possible. But you need the demo of the music system is the dot above the I. It's the last thing you do.
Got it. And so what happens before the demo? Walk me through the buyer's journey. What is that?
Oh, yeah. Like? Hello, sir. Shake hands. Names. What you have. What changes you want to have. What color. What shape. Very crucial points, because if you present them a pink Lamborghini and they need a family car, the pink Lamborghini with the 2 seats would never do it, but they might take the Porsche Panamera, because that's you need to understand how many seats, how many doors.
100%.
So you need to have all this information before you present something, because the presentation is the absolute last dot.
Got it. And what matters typically the most to them? Is it the shape, the color, the quality of the music?
It's how it looks.
It's how it looks.
Of course. Because
not how it sounds?
No, everybody's looking for stereo. Nobody says, I'm coming to listen to stereo. They all look. But the sound needs to be ravishing good. But it's the eyes. So if it looks like shit, it sounds fantastic, doesn't cut it.
Wow.
So
if I'm buying a pair of headphones, I'm looking for the superior sound. Obviously, being conscious that I'm on sales calls all day, I want it to look good as well.
Yeah, but if the headphones are pink and
that's fair,
and look like unicorns, you would never buy them, even though they are the best sounding. So the thing you're telling yourself is not the same that driving your decision, and that's why it's my job to understand all this, because I understand the client much better than they do themselves. So then people, they sometimes say, I'm not so good at describing what I want, and then I tell you, I've done this 10,000 plus
and you take them by the hand and you show them.
Yeah, so I understand when you don't even need to formulate words, but whatever comes out of you and your emotions and your expressions, I will be able to read that, because I've done that thousands of time with normal people like you. And I have the thing that I always need to do, and that is make you satisfied, because it's only a satisfied client coming back. So if I'm not able to satisfy you, you walk away, all my energy is lost, and that's bad for me. So it's in my best interest to read you perfect and give you exactly what you want. It's beyond words. It's before words. Words come after. It's feelings first. I understand your feelings, and this will enhance and give you the feelings you want from your side. That's the level you need to be on.
Got it. And the typical sales cycle can be as soon as they just come in, they buy, basically. It could be several months of you developing that relationship. Maybe they start with a smaller system, and then they call you a year later, and they're like, hey, because you're my go-to guy. Yeah. So I want a much better music system, and they come to you.
The budget could be like, okay, let's say 100 grand, could be 10 grand, 1 grand, 100, 10, $1, 0. But no matter where on the ladder, you start over at the top and work your all the way down. Even the 0 needs to be fantastic, because then you can take the $1, the 10, the 100, the 1,000, 10,000, the 100,000, the $1 million sound. So, and you need to, at every interaction, give them more than they anticipated.
And you have all of that available to demo on site?
Yeah.
Got it. You have a location here in Dubai, and you have a location in Norway?
Correct. And we have good systems that can point and show this, and I can also go home to people. Yeah, 1.5 weeks ago, I was home to a guy. He had a very well put together, not expensive, but expensive is not the same as good. He has a good system, but it was with a price tag that some people wouldn't even consider. We did lift that sound system so much in quality that he was just astonished. That was an inexpensive system. I have also been to very expensive systems and got them to sing incredible much more. I need to smoke more, that's all. So the thing is, I can take any system and make new sounds come out of it.
If I may.
Yeah.
Whenever you light it up, usually I try to keep the flame. So as an example. Yeah. Kind of keeping a distance away from the flame. Otherwise, it overburns the cigar. Yeah. Especially with the jet one. The nice thing is, and I would lift it up even more, so that way just the tip is touching the cigar. Yeah. Even more, like almost an inch away from the flame.
Yeah, okay.
And that will make sure that it doesn't overchar it, and it gives a much better taste.
Thank you. So, yeah, cigars, I know music systems.
And to be honest, I don't even know cigars that well. It's just that I enjoy cigars. And a part of the channel is just taking the viewers on the journey with me and showing them what I learn. as I go throughout this.
Cool. And this particular gentleman that I elevated the sound system for, he was also a cigar connoisseur, and he had a humidor. These cigars I can smoke this year. These I will smoke in 3, this in 5, these in 10. And he was aging them, and he was a real enthusiast. I think that enthusiasm you can bridge across from cars to clothes to whiskey, whatever. We have water at the moment, of course, but it's something you can
appreciate. The devil's in the details.
Yeah.
And I think part of the enjoyment of life is getting almost to an autistic level about it, because when you know so much about something, for example, if let's say the cigar that you're smoking took 3 years to age, if I can tell you a whole story behind it of how it got into your hands for you to now enjoy it, it becomes a much more enjoyable experience, because you were there with that cigar from the start throughout its journey, and now you're seeing the end of it.
Yes.
The end product.
And it's the same when you play a music system. You tell about the system, and then you play it. You tell about the cigar, then you smoke it. It enhances the experience, because, of course, when you play a music system, as when you smoke a cigar, it's actually the brain that gives you the experience. And you don't listen with your ears, you listen with your brain. And the brain takes in the vibration of the skull, the vibration of the retina, the vibration in your chest. The body can hear much more than the ear can hear. And that means that when your brain is open to have all this new input, it will also have a much more rich feeling about it. So when people sit down in front of the systems I have, they get pulled into the music. And I tell them it will be much better than the imagination can tell you. And then people go to that place, and then I say, it's even better than that again. So I set the expectation extremely high, and then I just blow their mind. And that's how they get interested in having this.
How should one enjoy a music system? For me personally, it's like, I've only now invested into a basic subwoofer and panel for my TV from China. Is just a large Hisense 65-incher.
Cool.
With just a basic audio box and a subwoofer to the side. And I'm like, man, already this is much better than just listening to sound from the TV.
Of course.
So for someone that is a complete layman to the audio world, how should music and sound be enjoyed?
Music should fill the room. It should come out. It should be something physical, so you can almost touch it. You can see it where it's placed. And the most sensitive thing the human ear is in regards to sound is the timing. The timing. So if you have a soundbar that has one timing and the bass unit has another timing, so it's to place them so they arrive at you at the same time.
As in the different components arrive at the same time?
The sound waves they make arrive your ears at the correct time.
Well, what makes the correct time?
The travel distance and the placement. Also, if it's DSP, it slows down. If it's a processing module, the sound needs to go through.
Mm-hmm.
So many people have these subwoofers with built-in room correction. But the slowness of the processor, 4 milliseconds, it's really nothing. But it makes it to not come on the initial start. It comes on this one. So the initial blast is there, and there it's the subwoofer.
So the subwoofer must be timed with the sound system.
Yes. The only challenge is that if your soundbar probably have DSP as well, so they might be in sync. But if you have a regular system and a DSP-controlled subwoofer, the subwoofer should be 4 meters closer to you than the speakers.
Very interesting.
In many cases, that would say you should sit on the subwoofer to make it in the same timing as the speakers. And people don't do that.
No, they just place everything sort of beside each other. And
they
call
could
it a
also
day.
place the subwoofer even more away in the corner. So the travel distance is even longer. All these things, if I can assist someone, I will make sure these things are taken care of.
And so I'm guessing you asked them about the setup of their room to understand, hey, where should we place things?
It's a subwoofer in where it can have the biggest headroom. It's very basic. If this is your listening position, you put a box in and you put the subwoofer right where your head is. And then you crawl around on the floor to find out where the subwoofer makes noise. Then you put the sub there. You just switch the places. Then you have found the best place for the subwoofer.
Got it.
It's just mathematics.
And so you have an established position in Norway, breaking sales records for your company. Moving to Dubai, how has your sales or approach to selling changed since moving to Dubai?
Not really much, because I like to be at a distance, then I can be more effective to Norway. Regards to Dubai, closer.
Sorry to interrupt. When you say more effective, you can now do this over Zoom?
Oh, no, just a phone call. See some pictures. You can tell me what you have, and I can just say what you need. I've been through this incredible amount of times. And when I meet people, I have a fantastic evening now with you over a cigar. But to smoke a cigar and then come with a tip at the end takes more time than 5 minutes on the phone. So
Got it.
It's not that I don't enjoy that part, but I can be more effective and helping more people when the social part is taken out.
Got it. Does it change the close rate? Or does it change the experience of the selling? Do you feel like you can close them better in person?
Depending on the clients, actually. In the end, I say that my work starts when you got the equipment home. So you can have like a sales process, but that sales process isn't really worth anything to the point where the system is home and the client is listening to it. So the real battle is in the client's home, and how can you come to the home the fastest? That's the place that will give the client value. All the other stuff is just fluff.
Got it.
Yeah. So I can come faster to the point where the client gets value. And I think that's good for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so that's you selling remotely with Norway. How is it different for Dubai?
In Dubai, since I don't have the same name for myself, I need to go and show what I can. In Norway, they know what I can, so they can just ripe the seeds, the fruits. But here I have to sow the seeds. The seeds are already made fruits in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
So people can go and just pick the fruits. And when I show people, like at the recent high-end show Dubai, AE, where we participated with Rivos, we had the absolute best sound and the experience for people coming to our room. We had a line outside, we had a full room, both days, and people agree that we had the best sound. The second best sound at that show cost 10 times as much. But here's the catch. If I was the guy setting up the 10 times as much pricey system, that would be the best. So the thing is, I just make whatever I do the best. And that's what's good for the clients, because that means they can take the system they already have, and I find the bottlenecks and find the small adjustment, the things that needs to be done to make their system the best for them. So I'm very quick at finding the bottlenecks in their systems, and when you take away the bottleneck, you put in something that elevates the other parts of the system, you get a massive value. Because I unlock everything they paid for up to that point and add value on top.
How do you augment an existing system? Is it more than just the sound bar and the subwoofer?
Oh yeah, that's like a closed system. But the systems I really usually deal with, they have like a source, a place where you change the inputs and volume regulation, a preamp, a power amp, cables, power conditioners, loudspeakers, with or without subwoofers, large or small. So to take the soundbar, it has the built-in amplifier. It also have the volume regulation built in. It has the DAC, the source, everything built in. But I deal in separates.
And you add onto that system by adding those specific components.
Yeah, let's say you have source loudspeakers. They might have a source that connects well with the amplifier, but the amplifier doesn't connect well with the loudspeakers. Then I would change the loudspeakers to something that fits the amplifier. Then suddenly the whole chain is working. I say like most people put together a sound system like drunken sailors. They don't fit electrical. They don't fit. Doesn't fit together. But there still comes sound out of it. As long as comes sounds out, they are happy. But the sound is not good. Or just tell it over, it could be much better with new connections.
Having spent a lot of time in Dubai, what would you say has been the most surprising thing about Dubai?
Well, the speed everything happens in here. Things go fast. The most surprisingly is the sound systems there, because I've never been in any place in the world where the sound systems sound as shit as in Dubai. Just noise. So you think it's loud music in the club? No, it's just noise and then some small music on top. But I would rather have a system that doesn't lose the music, keeps it, and don't add the noise, just have a very low noise floor, and don't add distortion. Distortion! Where things appears to be the same, but it's not the same. So when you put together a sound system this way, it sounds incredible, much better. And we can talk, you can feel it, and everybody understands it. You don't need to be an expert to understand. In this small band of sound, it's fantastic, even though it lacks something here and here.
And what's it like spending a lot of your time in Dubai? Would you fully move your family to Dubai?
Oh yeah, sure. We love it there. It's the freedom of doing what you believe yourself. That's the best for you and your family.
And I know you, in your case, you do homeschooling with your kids, which I'm a big fan of. I think it's the way to do it. Would a lot change moving them here?
No, it's the same, because we do it online. And the opportunities with having access to the best teachers, and also to change the teachers and to change whatever you need. Your kid just do things very easy at some point, and that's another thing, it needs more different learning, and then you just adjust. It was the whole point of the school, that you should adjust to the kid. You should not adjust the kid to the school.
Right.
Yeah. So the system is broken.
Absolutely. I found myself, I think I was in grade 5 and I was doing grade 9 math, just because my parents were forcing me to do these online Stanford.edu courses, some online math courses that they found. And the math wasn't complicated. In fact, the Soviet schooling was very, very good on the STEM side. And so when I moved to Canada, I was showing my parents the kind of homework I was given, if any. They were like, what is this shit? Here, no, you're not going to do that shit. Like, here are some online courses that you're going to do.
Yeah.
And of course, I'll be pissed off because I want to play computer games.
Yeah.
But Canadian schooling is, I would argue, absolutely broken. I grew up in it, and then I went back for a year to Moldova, went to a Russian school, and it's completely incomparable, the level of education that one receives, even in a place like Moldova, that's still the poorest country in Europe statistically, GDP-wise. The schooling is much, much better.
Of course, because they haven't had the investment into the school to make it something to brainwash people. You say that the school is, I would say that the school is very, very good at what it does, to drain out the creativity and to make people obedient sheep. So the school is, if you analyze it, what they do, it's top level. It's just that it happens to do something you don't want. And it's masked. You know? So the mark of the devil is that things are turned on the head, 180 degrees. it's also the hardest for the brain to understand and see the difference. Two images, one mirror of the other.
Mm-hmm.
If I had to cycle through 10 images very fast for you, and you have to tell if it's mirrored or not, you would have a very hard time catching what's mirrored or not, because they're stored the same. So when you want to deceive someone, you present something as the absolute inverse of what you say.
Would you say that the Norwegian education in the school systems has degraded over the years?
It was better when I was a kid, of course. Then it was even better when my dad was a kid. Then it was even better than that again when my granddad was a kid.
Why is this a trend everywhere?
It's because for 100 years ago, the best people was the teachers. That was the hardest profession to get. And when I was a kid, it was teachers that they didn't manage to get into any other university than teaching. So that was the lowest level.
Mm-hmm.
It's because they're,
Well, also, not everyone had access to education 100 years ago. Is it supply and demand?
What is education?
Public education,
but
going to school.
Yeah, but what is it? What does it do?
It sets a standard for the population to be educated throughout kindergarten and grades 1 through 12. It's the curriculum.
Yeah, why can't parents do that?
Parents should be responsible for children's education.
Curiosity is one of the most important things to have to be a smart guy.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the number one. I think Einstein said that curiosity, intellect or anything without curiosity is not worth anything. You're just like a computer doing the bidding of someone else.
Asking questions and being creative.
Yeah. So I'm very grateful that I was taught how to be curious and taught how to think for myself. Because when you can do that, think for yourself, then you can decide, do I need to learn this part or not? And I also learned another thing is that if someone can do it, so can you.
How does a parent instill the thought process of a child thinking for themselves?
They encourage it.
How so?
They can ask questions. They can present a scenario and you can discuss the scenario. How would you solve this?
Mm-hmm.
And this is one of the challenges with the, let's call it the internet. People can just Google or Grok or ChatGPT, whatever. They don't really need to know anything anymore. And then when you get dropped into a desert, like I might be tomorrow, for 3 days where you put away the phone, how can you really do anything if everything you rely on is on the phone? Because what happens when you become so reliant on the online stuff, search whatever, and they just turn off internet? What are you going to do if you don't have any knowledge inside you? And this is one of the things about the so-called dark ages in Europe. They were so uneducated, they say. No, there was a fantastic level of innovation happening through those 1,000 years. That's why we came to the place we came to before everything starts to fall again. So, but they needed to paint the past as dark to be able to paint the present as good. But maybe people 100, 200, 300 years were more enlightened or educated than we are today. We just have better tools. And we are not smarter because we have tools. We can be dumber with better tools. So they built the pyramids, they built the cathedrals, they did epic shit. They sailed around the world. They went to the North Pole, South Pole, top of Mount. I mean,
we've performed much greater and more impressive feats than today. It's just that we have access to more crutches to perform the tasks of today that someone else has invented and we just rely on. And without it...
Yeah, who today is smart enough to find up the wheel if it didn't exist? But when it existed, it's hard for people to figure out the life without the wheel, because it's just always been there. But at some point in time, it did not exist. And again, that's why it's important to be able to think for yourself and actually to learn stuff and to see things. I say that all kids are born a genius and need unlimited energy. Try to follow a kid a whole day. Even if you're a high-level athlete, you just, at some point, you break. And why are they genius? Because they're constantly doing things they never done before.
They don't have barriers.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you do something you've never done before, that's the mark of genius. If you take an intellect test, and we have seen all the challenges before, it's no longer an intellect test, because it tests just your memory and your ability to do something again you've done in the past. So a proper intellect test is always about something you've never done before. That's like the baseline for it. So a lot of people think they're smart when they're not really smart, because you need to do stuff you've never done before and succeed. And kids do this all the time. And it's the task for me as a dad to keep them that way. Just keep them that way.
It's something to think about a lot. I'm not a father yet, but just thinking about the future and how I would raise my kids, what kind of environment I would want them to have, especially for my sons, to have the backbone to endure, succeed, and conquer in this world.
Yeah.
I don't know if I would see them in a place like Dubai, because Dubai is very different from the rest of the world from the standpoint of it being very sanitary, very clean, very full of resources. And that's not to say I would rather put my kids in the ghetto or completely push them away from me and say, figure it out, and have them survive. But I think it's a very delicate balance to create the growth environment for kids, to force them to grow, whilst providing them the optimizing for those resources for them to become killers, for our sons to become killers out of this world.
I've been away from my kids for some time. I did see them a few days ago, first time in 3 months. Last time I met them in Spain, my oldest son started doing sit-ups. And he cranked out 1,217 sit-ups in one go.
How old is he? 6 or 7, right?
7.
7.
Yeah. And I asked him, why did you do this? And he said, I knew I would become the best. How many did you do before? 200-300. And then he don't have any limitations, because the limitations are put on the kids. So my greatest job as a father is to keep them this way, because they are born like that. They don't have any limitations. It's not in the program. It's put on them.
And a part of it is sheltering them from the rest of not just the education system, but the rest of the kids, because the vast majority of the population will pull you down in a sense. When you're aiming for excellence, that's not what the rest of the people are aiming for.
No, not at all.
And they're going to pull you down. They're going to say, what, you did 2,000 sit-ups? I can barely do 50.
Yeah.
And then you look at them and you say, wow, I just did 2,000. But the standard pulls them down, because the standard is so much below of what we're capable of.
Yeah.
Like whenever
And it was 1,217. And I had my kids meet some guys upstairs early today. I told a different story about my kids. And he specifically said, you have to tell them about the sit-ups. Because he was proud of it. Yeah.
He should be proud.
Yeah, of course.
Man, 1,217. Wow.
But it's a mindset. And we as adults, we can learn from that. If we can learn from the unfiltered kids, then we will go much longer. I say that part of joining the brotherhood is one thing is to learn, but the other one is to unlearn, because we have been both programmed at varying degrees through the circles and the places we've been. And Alina says this in an example I tell people, is that it's like the Greek statue. It's always been in the rock. You just have to chip away the pieces not needed, and then it's there. It's always been there. Of course, you need to have the foresight to start the process, but that's a very good picture to have in mind.
I would argue it's 80% unlearning, because so many of the bad attitudes and mindsets have been instilled into us. And whenever people hire, right? And in most of the cases, people would rather hire a younger dog, because it's much tougher to teach an older dog new tricks, because they go through the process of unlearning the bad habits.
Yeah. But then again, there are old dogs that know how to learn.
And it's never too late to unlearn.
Because they have stayed young. I say that we are all only getting older. But then again, a kid at 1 year also getting older. The alternative to getting older is very bad. But never get old. Never get old. You only get older. But that's universal for everyone. And you can get older, of course, and gain knowledge. Because the longer you live, the more you can get in.
What's your secret to keeping that youth about you, to your vitality, to your willingness to constantly learn? What is the hack to that mindset for men at your age?
I say that heaven is a place where you get to know everything. So to come closer to heaven, you just need to learn. Because the more you learn, the better.
Constantly learning.
Yeah, because if you imagine hell as some place you don't want to be, then imagine, because that's nothing. Don't know anything, you're not anything, etc. I don't believe in burning, but it's just nothing. And heaven is to know everything, and you want to come as close to that as possible on earth. How do you do that? By learning. You make your environment better by learning, because the more you know, the better it is.
But even digging deeper, the why for the learning, because learning can have growing pains.
Yeah, but why should you even call it growing pains? It's just the joy of growing.
It is the joy of growing.
Yeah. So it's Eureka!
I think it's important to have a why you're doing this, because doing something for 18 hours straight, like working like a madman.
I call it normal. I call the other guys mad to not do that.
Absolutely. And that's a reframe.
Yeah.
That's a complete mindset shift. I'm putting it in a commoner's perspective, because many would look at what you're doing and say, man, this guy's a madman for doing what he does for 18 hours a day.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because there's a very powerful why behind it.
I believe learning and growing is what's increased your life. Yeah. Closer to heaven, closer to eternal life. And I want to live. And whatever other people would like to do, if they want to do that as well, they can do it. But it's up to them. You need to have that will inside you. You're born with that will. You can find that will again, but ultimately it's up to you. And I'm not here to save anyone, but the thing is, you can save yourself, but you have to want it. And if you're surrounded by enemies, you must have the courage to risk your life and attack to break out. You must be loving life so much that you're willing to risk it, to break out and get free from the enemy. If you don't love your life enough you wait and you die because you're surrounded and they will crush you. So if you're not willing to do what's needed, that's on you.
I think there's a very powerful purpose behind what moves each person.
Oh yes, I'm a dad. I need to perform.
Was there a mindset shift when you had your first kid?
Of course, I understood my dad and mom much better. And I was like, could they live with all the things we did? Like climbing tall trees, running across the streets, and it's
very nice.
When you become a dad, you get an extra gear. I tell people that's not a dad yet, that you can acquire all the power of being a dad by just shifting your mind in an instant. It's just that when you become a dad, it's easier. But you can have the same urgency and you can have everything right now. You just have to decide. So how did God create the world? He first spoke and then it happened. Let there be light. And we can use the same framework in anything. And my son did that. I want to be the best at the plank. He did see on World Kids Record. There was some kid, I think a year older than him, but in the same bracket. He did a 21-minute something plank. So my boy, on his own account, started practicing the plank. He ended up doing a 22-minute plank. And he did choose his own reward, going to London to see Big Ben. We did that this summer.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And it's very important that there was a reward tied to it as
yeah.
Well.
But he did choose the reward. And when the Olympics were finished and we had a Norwegian champion in decathlon, he came to the town square where we used to live. So my boy, he brought a coffee mug with artwork he had made himself. He gifted it to him. Then he waited to all the journalists, all the people, many, many hundred people.
Sorry, who did he give this cup to?
To the Olympic gold medalist winner from Norway in decathlon.
Wow.
10 different things you do. And then he waited till everyone left, and then he approached him and he said, I want to challenge you to the plank.
Wow.
He was 6 years old. And he said, okay, how much can you do? I think at the moment it was between 10 and 12 minutes. And he told that, and then he said, sorry, but you win. So he declined the challenge from my kid. I think that's quite ballsy to do when you're 6. Go up to Olympic gold medalist and challenge him.
Who dares wins.
Yeah. But it's just, he don't have the limitations. He's...
What's the secret to that? What's this?
Never give them in the first place because they're born without it. Just let them see, because he can observe me, he can observe the stories I tell, he can observe my dad. He have heard stories from the granddad of his mother, my granddad, etc. And these people have gone through a lot of things. And Second World War, the granddad to the mother, he was shot, I think, 7, 8, 9 times. And he was in a marsh for a few days while the Germans circulated, and he was playing dead. But he had to survive that to be able to make the kids and make the lineage down to my son. So imagine having bullets in yourself with the Germans around you for several days and you just play dead.
Wow.
And
this was on the Norwegian side?
No, this was on the Russian side.
The Russian side?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Soviets, yeah.
Are you like a quarter Russian?
No, I'm 100% Norwegian, but Alina, she is Ukrainian.
Got it.
Yeah,
Got it. Okay,
born
now
when
makes
it was
sense.
Soviet Union.
Because I was going to say, Norway was sided with the Germans for a little bit, so I was curious how that worked.
Oh, and
but it makes sense.
Norway, the government was always with the Allied.
Yeah.
But the Germans, they stayed quite heavy there.
Yeah, it's always an inspiration. Being of Slavic heritage as well, I'm 3/4 Ukrainian. When you dig into my roots even deeper, it's all Russian.
Yeah.
And I had two grandfathers that served, got all the way to Berlin. And there's a lot of inspiration to this day that whole Soviet bloc gets from their grandfathers and great-grandfathers.
Yeah.
There's strength to be drawn from that. And that's,
yes.
And instead of, let's say, the Marvel movies that people in America and Canada watch and draw inspiration from superheroes,
yeah,
the superheroes in the East are those that went through the Great War.
Yeah.
They call it the Holy War.
Yeah. The Great War, yeah.
Or sorry, the Sacred War is the Священная война, the Sacred War.
And that's why when we are here, we need to make the best out of it and then instill the same in the kids. I have a king's name, Øystein, in Norway. My dad found my lineage. So the last king in my lineage was born in 1270. And then it was kings and royals 400 years back from that point. But that comes up to me. I'm not in that part anymore, or the lineage points, but it's funny how things are. And you have grand people with 20 offsprings, and then a few generations later, the lineage is done. It's not anymore. So to bear on is actually, you need to do something good. And you need to instill it in them, and they need to instill into the next, and then it can very fast just stop. So keep on doing. That could be the final tip. Do more. Keep on going.
I prepped some questions for a quick fire round.
Yeah.
If you're open to that.
Oh yeah, sure.
Question number 1 for the rapid fire. Natural talent or work ethic?
Both.
Both.
Yeah, we are all natural talents. But you need the ethic, of course.
Which one's more important if you were to choose one?
Work ethic.
What's an audio brand you'd never buy?
Beats.
What are your thoughts on Bose?
Bose?
Yeah. Do you think it's good value?
Yeah, I've been selling a lot of it. They know how hearing works. They have the know-how.
What's the biggest waste in high-end audio?
The biggest waste in high-end audio is that overpriced stuff that doesn't really sound good.
Norway or Dubai for raising kids?
Dubai anytime.
Is climate change real?
No.
Your kids at 25, what do you hope?
I don't hope. I know they will be crushing it in whatever way they want it to do.
What's the sale you're most proud of?
A year ago, I had a client coming in for a 2,000 euro soundbar. It took a month, but a month later, he ordered a 200,000 euro sound system. 100x. It took some time for my brain to process it because 1, 10, 100, the brain doesn't really understand the difference that well. We think logarithmical, so yeah, it was 1, 10, 100. It's like just 3 steps up, but I love that sale. Yeah.
How long did it take to make that sale?
It took a month.
A month for 200. That's awesome. What's been the biggest business mistake?
Not starting earlier.
Do wealthy clients actually listen to their systems?
I don't really care. I think that's why we say play and feel. We don't really talk about listening.
What's the best music genre for the ultra high-end music systems? If there is such a thing.
The music you like, of course. I'm not here to change your taste. I'm here to enchant your taste.
Do you usually find yourself demoing with like one specific music genre?
No, I actually do the opposite. I play a lot of different ones to showcase that.
The depth.
Yeah. I especially like to play music I know they don't like, because they will like it. It's the sound system that takes away the joy. When it's presented in a correct way, they like it.
Have you ever had to fire a client?
Yes.
Was it something specific that they did?
They sent too many drunken texts at evening and nights. The funny part was one of my biggest loudspeaker sales I ever done was from this particular guy. I had blocked him on every channel, but he walked in the shop and bought a pair of speakers.
That's funny. Your father, what does he think of everything that you do?
Oh, he likes it. He supports me. Yeah.
If audio disappeared and you had to start from zero, what would you do?
I would do systems engineering.
What kind of systems?
Systems is universal.
You're big on systems.
Sure.
Like, but not audio systems, just any systems in general.
Yeah, I mean, the principles I use when I set up a system makes the communication we have together more clear, more better, or anything you want to build or grow, or yeah. It's a system to life. If you put the ingredients to life in a box in the proper order, life happens. If you just put them in the box, shake it, nothing happens. Same ingredients, two different outcomes.
What's the thing you believe that's crazy to most?
Repeat the question, please.
What's a thing that you believe that would be considered crazy to most people?
Oh, I believe I will become 900 years.
That you will what?
I will become 900 years old.
You will reach 900 years old?
Yes.
Wow. Is it because of the way that healthcare is advancing?
It's just that I believe that at some point in our history, people became 900 years, and then the flood happened.
Yep.
And then people stopped becoming 900 years.
Are you going to do it through cryogenic freezing?
No. That's another discussion, but if someone could do something, anyone can do it. It's the same. If you can make something with your hand, why couldn't I make the same thing with my hands, you know? And
Makes sense.
If someone did that in the past, why shouldn't we be able to do it now?
I love it. 3 years from now, where are you living? Still Dubai?
Yes.
What's one conviction from 24 years old that you've let go of?
From 24 years old?
Yeah.
That you need to finish school.
Final question. What question do you wish I asked that I haven't asked you?
How come you're so positive?
How come you're so positive?
I choose to be.
I love it. Øystein, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been a pleasure.
Absolutely.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk to you again. Because a vision softly creeping.
Just change whatever you're playing, you know, and then you get a different feeling.
It's crystal clear.
Yeah, and rock music usually is very hard on the system like this, because they draw the attention to the finer, the air with the finer details. But if there's a lot of noise in the system, you amplify the noise as well. That means you need to play recordings with not much noise. But this one just drops the noise floor instead, and that means you can play noisy music. Because this is really noisy music. It's just that because the system doesn't have noise, the total is okay.
Wow. Wow. I can feel the energy. It's vibrating everything.
Then we just change the song, and then we have a different energy again, you know?
It pierces, like it goes through your body and you absorb that energy.
Yeah.